What's going on, YouTube family? This is Francisco with Covenant Dispatch LLC, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, please do me a favor, hit that like button so that this video can reach a more broader audience. And then second of all, hit that subscribe button if you've watched any of my previous videos and you like the content that we dish out. So as you can see in some of my most recent videos, we started to shift into box trucking. So we started to talk about the box trucking market. And the reason being is because that's actually how I started off. And so I just wanted to share with you guys information on how you can get a successful box trucking business started. And so with that being said, as you can see in the title, I want to give you guys my thoughts about starting a box trucking business in the year of 2023. Now, some of you guys are watching this video after having already watched the other two previous videos that I just put out, one of them being me sharing with you guys the numbers from my first month box trucking. Now, this is about 2 years ago, right, to date. I shared with you guys the first month and the second month. The reason why, I had a lot of people comment and they said, well, man, this is old information. Why are you sharing this information? Is because I just wanted to show you guys real time numbers, right? Even if it was from about 2 years ago, the only thing that's really changed is the price and the diesel, right? Outside of that, the spot market rates are kind of identical. And if anything, the box trucking game from then until now is definitely a little bit more saturated. So before I get into any of that, I did want to say I'm going to put the videos somewhere in here so you guys can see them. But go check those two videos out so that you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. And then other than that, we can jump right into the video. So in the video, I talked about again, what I made my first month. That was the first video. And then the second video, I talked about what I made the second month, right? Of me jumping right into the box truck game. I had a lot of people comment or just reach out and they told me, well, I can't even pay, it's pennies basically. I compared to what their ideal amount was in their mind. But I wanted to just say that the reason for those videos was to just give you guys complete transparency. It wasn't really to sell you guys a dream. It was to just be realistic with you guys, right? So on my first month, I didn't even work a full month, right? And of course, when we broke down the numbers, we saw that I really made nothing. And then also in the second month, there was a full week that I didn't even run. But of course, the revenue went up a little bit more. And then, of course, in month 3 and 4, you see it start to go up a little bit more. Now, this is what I'll say, right? In going into answering the question that I put on the title of this video, is it smart to start a box trucking company in the year of 2023? My answer to that is yes and no. So let me answer the no part first, right? Let me just give you the negative part first. The reason why I say no is because the box trucking game is extremely, extremely saturated right now. So we got a lot of people out there. It doesn't really take much to start. It doesn't really take much to start a box trucking business. Especially since, there's options to drive box trucks that are non-CDL. So you got a lot of these guys because of, people on YouTube, of course, which, it's not like I'm saying that to throw shade at anybody making box trucking videos. I mean, I made some myself, but I wanted to just add transparency to the mix, right? And so there's nothing wrong with it. But I think what is wrong with it is the fact that if you're telling people to get starting in the box trucking game, you got to share some other options besides the load board. Now, in my opinion, based upon what I am able to see and what I'm able to gather and from my experience, the most consistent way is getting signed up with either a direct shipper doing a contracted lane, which is possible. It's not as accessible as if you had a drive-in or a flatbed, but it's definitely doable. You just have to do your research, do a lot of cold calling, reach out to direct shippers and things of that nature. But outside of that, last mile deliveries, such as, like a JB Hunt offers some for like Lowe's and Home Depot, IKEA, right? Local, furniture companies that might offer last mile deliveries. And then besides that, of course, is again, Amazon Relay. That's the most consistent way you're going to make money in the box trucking game. So now there's the flip side to that. And it's the most popular one that most people talk about. And that is booking loads from the load board. Now, booking loads from the load board is not, there's nothing wrong with it necessarily. Now, what I like to say is if you're starting a box trucking business and that's something that you do want to do, keep in mind, if you're looking to make money in the box trucking game, booking loads from the load board, you have to drive OTR. So OTR it just basically means over the road, right? Something that we talk about in my box truck course, but it literally just means over the road. So you got OTR, you got regional, and then you got local. Well, if you have a box truck, of course you want to increase the amount of revenue you get because it's not going to be the same amount of rates you're going to get for having a drive-in. So in order to make those kinds of numbers that you want to see, you have to drive over the road. Now, the best region to get good box truck freight is in the Midwest, shifting over into the East Atlantic, northern part of America, which is like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, even in the lower parts of Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, a little bit, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin. You guys get the idea, right? Michigan, that whole region has significantly decent rates for box trucks. Once you start to get more towards down south and, more towards Texas and stuff, they're not as great. Now, with saying that, what I did want to say too is that I'm not saying you're going to become the richest man on earth by starting a box trucking business by booking loads from the load board. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I recommend is to not only rely on the load board to book for your box trucking company to receive revenue. You want to try other avenues. Some of the things that we talk about in my course is junk removal, moving services, contracted freight, which of course is what I mentioned a little bit earlier, Amazon Relay and things like that. Of course, those are great options, but there's other ways that you can think outside the box to bring in revenue for your box trucking company. If you rely just on the load boards, I'll be honest, and I said it a little bit earlier, it's extremely saturated. So it doesn't take much for, someone to start a non-CDL box truck company. I mean, literally they can go, you guys see it all across YouTube, and I've experienced it. You guys can go to Enterprise, Ryder, or a smaller mom and pop box truck company, rental company, and you can get some of these trucks at a decent price and just jump right out there, right? You don't really need to even have much experience. So the problem with that is a lot of people jumped into the game, don't know what they're doing, don't know how to effectively negotiate rate, don't know how to take in their overhead costs and, determine what their profit margins are going to be based upon their cost per mile. They don't know any of that, right? And so because they don't know any of that, they get out there and they take any kind of rate, and it kind of messes it up, unfortunately, for everybody else. So with that being said, you don't want to rely just on the load boards. Now, having the load boards as a source of revenue to bring in for your box truck company, I recommend, but open up other streams, open up other avenues and ways that you can get money. Now, that's answering the no part. So the yes part, of course, I kind of already trickled into it. Should I start a box trucking company? Yes. In the year of 2023. If you decide you want to branch out if you want to branch out into other ways and avenues of making money for your box truck without relying just independently on the load board. If you decide you want to, jump into the box truck game, but in your mind, you're like, well, I'll just go to the load board. You're more than likely, you're going to have a struggle in your first at least 3 to 4 months. And the reason being is because you're jumping into the game, new authority, saturated market, very poor spot market rates, so even for box trucks. And then if you top that all off, if you have a bad driver, if you're driving yourself and, you don't prefer to stay up in that Northeast Atlantic Midwest region area, you're going to struggle. I'm just going to be honest. You're going to struggle. But if you open up other ways and avenues, maybe you say, okay, we'll check the load boards periodically whenever we need to fill gaps in and we don't have any work. But you know what? Let's start doing junk removal and moving services, or let's start doing last mile deliveries, right? Let's take 2 box trucks, or let's take the initial box truck we start off with doing last mile work, or let's contact a local, maybe a smaller mom and pop shop, or you go on the load boards. One of the things that I did, and I actually ended after this because I basically answered the 2 questions. One of the things I did one time, I went to go pick up a load in my box truck, and I picked up some insulation, right? And so when I picked up the insulation, I noticed it was like my 4th time there, right? Picking up from that facility. And so I eventually got to meet the shipping manager. And I asked them, I said, hey man, like, do you typically ship this kind of freight out? And they're like, yeah, we always do. The only thing is we don't have a consistent location. So it might be like New York City this day, and then it might be Massachusetts this day. But more likely than not, we're shipping it either northeast, or we're shipping it, going down south, no further than North Carolina. Well, I said, look, we can negotiate something, and I'll always come and pick it up. Or if I can't come pick it up, I had two other drivers. I could say, hey, I'll have a driver come pick it up, but let's work something out, because of course you'll get better rates than, loads rates from the load board. Long story short, the only reason why I didn't fully go in and through with that opportunity was because, and for most of you guys who saw some of my other videos, my business ended up crashing a little bit after that. But that's just a perfect example. You can get on these load boards, see, what kind of loads are out there. And every once in a while, when you do a load, have a conversation with the shipping manager if you're able to, right? It never hurts to try, right? Or just do cold calling. Go on Google and type in, small warehouse facilities around, where you live at. And then just take chances, right? Call these people and say, hey, can I, we have capacity of a 26-foot box truck. We can haul up to about 10,000 pounds, right? Because those are your limits when you're non-CDL. You say, hey, any overflow you might have, any LTL, we'll haul it for a little bit more, rather than it being a partial and a drive-in. We'll charge a little bit more, but hey, we're able to do this, right? We have about 2 or 3 trucks, or whatever the case may be. If you have 1 truck, then of course you start off with 1 truck, but you just sell this vision to them. Hey, look, we're looking to build, we're looking to establish ourselves. If we can get something going, we'll absolutely go and grab another truck, and then another truck, or however you want to do it, right? But that's me saying yes. So if you have that mindset in that vision, if you want to expand the avenues and the ways you'll make money from your box trucking business in the year of 2023, then absolutely go for it. The freight logistics industry is continuing to grow more and more and more, over $800 billion in revenue from trucks in the United States alone. So it's going to continue to grow, because logistics, just like real estate, is not going anywhere. So it's not that you can't make money. It's just that you want to be smart about the ways that you go about it. So if you're only depending on the load boards, it's not a good idea. But if you decide, hey, I want to open it up for some other opportunities, maybe do some junk removal, maybe do some moving services, maybe, do some, again, last mile, maybe try to contact some direct shippers and get some, dedicated lanes going, then it's a great opportunity. I know a guy who has a contract with an air conditioning company, and he gets paid so well from his loads, from the contracted load. It's a 5-year contract. He picks up freight that's overflow from an air conditioning company, and his drivers leave New Jersey and they go to Pennsylvania, pick it up, and come back, which means they're deadheading from New Jersey to Pennsylvania to bring the air conditioning units back to New Jersey. But whatever rate they have, they're still able to make a good profit, to the degree where if they find another, dedicated opportunity lane, picking up in New Jersey, going to Pennsylvania near where they're picking up in Pennsylvania, then they'll just be able to double up on their profits. But because it's a direct shipper contract, they're still able to make money, right? Those are the kinds of things you are able to do with a direct contract. So anyways, in saying all of that, my answer to if you want to start a box trucking company in 2023, is it a smart idea? Yes and no. Yes, if you're looking to stretch your ways and be more versatile in the ways that you make money, and be more open to other ideas versus just a load board. And no, if you think that you're just going to jump into the box truck game, get work off the load board and just be a millionaire within a year. Absolutely not. So again, that's just my transparent answer. Again, those 2 videos that I put out are just to show you guys transparency. That's all, right? And I'll try to get some interviews going on here where guys are sharing their stories and things like that. But it wasn't to sell you a dream. It was to show you real time numbers. So one of the things we talk about in my course is ways and other avenues that you can make money. The course is only $149.99. Of course, guys, if you feel like that's something you're interested in, you can ask more questions. Shoot us an email at courses@covenantdispatchllc.com. I'll put it in the description under this video. I'll also put the link for some other from the box truck course and some of our other courses that we have in the description under this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. If this video helped you in any way, please send it to someone else. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.